Brought to you by Claudia, fine jewelry in Edgartown and Vineyard Haven. Chillmark spring water from Martha's Vineyard, the champagne of waters. Richard Hamilton, handmade gold jewelry in Edgartown. And C'est la vie, a little something for everyone, Circuit Ave, Oak Bluffs.
Well, belated Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to Pathway to Your Wellness. This afternoon, or I should say this evening, I have a really special guest, Teresa Yuan. And we met not that long ago, but we've become very good friends, very close friends fast. And I think when you see what she brings, you'll feel the same way about her. So good evening, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
All right, well, we're so happy. Teresa works with flowers. And anyone, to me, that works with flowers has a real gift. She works with all types of flowers, from silk flowers, isn't this a beautiful arrangement, to natural flowers, and then she also does some wreaths that she brought in that we'll talk about it. But let's just first talk about Teresa, who you are and how long have you been on the island, and what got you involved with working with flowers in the first place?
I was born in Taiwan.
Wow.
And when I was 19, I came to the United States, and I went to college. I studied art. So painting was my major. Then I got married very young, 20, 21, wow. I got married.
Yeah.
And so my ex-husband and I, we moved to the island, and like 1978. So it's over 30 years ago that I moved to the island. Yeah. And the island is very beautiful. You know, there are a lot of artists, so I am one of them. But making a living doing art is not easy. So then we started to have kids. So I just put my energy in raising the kids and working part-time here and there. And up until the kids are like 14, 12-year-old, they're older now, then I had to go through a divorce, a painful divorce. And then after that, I started to be interested in flowers. I work in the garden center on the island, Vineyard Gardens,
yes.
for 4 or 5 years. And then I realized that I just love plants. I love flowers. And also then I started to paint flowers too at that time.
Okay.
And it seems like the subject is, you know, it hits me, you know, well. And that I don't have to go out to location to paint. I can just make a still life and do it at home, you know, so it's convenient for me. So I started to get involved with flowers. Then I started to work for a landscaper, a private landscaper. It's been like 5 years doing landscaping. But 2 years ago, I went to a florist school, New England Florist School of Design, and I got a certificate, and then I became really interested in flower arrangement. So that's my story.
That's an interesting story. That school sounds like it must have been a very interesting experience.
Yeah.
Are there certain classes that you take for arranging certain types of flowers, or?
Yes. It was probably 7 weeks.
Wow.
7 weeks, yeah. And I go 4 days a week, yeah, in Brockton.
Wow.
Yeah. And each week we learn different things. You know, 1 week will be like funeral, another week wedding, and then, you know, party and, you know, stuff.
Oh, no wonder you're so good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I think you're great. I think you're really great.
Well, thank you very much.
Tell me this, is it different when you make an arrangement out of silks versus out of real flowers? What do you have to take into consideration on working with flowers versus silks or vice versa?
With fresh cut flowers, you need a lot more care. You know, you have to, when you get the flowers, you have to cut them. You know, if you get the roses, you have to take out the thorns. You know, with silk flower, actually, I think it's easier. You know, you don't have to take care of it. You just stick them in a vase.
Right.
Yeah. I just happened to inherit a lot of silk flowers from my sister. My sister's live in New York, and a friend of hers closed down the flower shop, and so she gave me all the silk flowers.
Aren't you lucky?
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I mean,
very fortunate. Very, very fortunate.
I know.
Now, have you ever thought about taking on and training a young person to learn how to do your technique of working with flowers?
Of course, sure.
Okay. So if any young kid is out there who'd like to learn about flowers, we'll give you Teresa's number a little bit later on.
Sure.
When a person let me back it up. Teresa and I have worked together on a professional basis just this past week. We did a NAACP, did the Martin Luther King event at the Oyster Bar, and Teresa did the flowers there. And they were absolutely charming. Everyone loved the flowers.
Thank you very much.
I mean, just exquisite. When an organization approaches you, now, when we approached you, I told you that we had certain colors that we had to work with.
Yep.
But if an organization or even a bride comes in and she doesn't have a clue what colors, do you walk her through the whole process? I mean, some people know what they really want, and other people, they don't know.
Well, there are a lot of books out there.
Okay.
So I will usually show them the books.
All right.
The samples of the type of flowers.
Okay.
Yeah, and the color.
All right. I've always been fascinated with the bridal bouquet and how they put all the ribbon on the bottom of that. I just think that is just exquisite.
It's not hard.
Are you kidding?
Not hard.
Oh, it looks so hard to me.
But once you learn how to do it, it's not hard.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you work with, I see that you brought a few pieces in that are dried flowers.
Right.
Would you like to show the audience?
Of course.
Okay. Actually, this is how we met. This is how Teresa and I met. I bought one of her wreaths. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, tell us how you put this together, please.
First of all, these backings are grapevines from the island, either from my house or from somewhere on the island. I collect them and then I put them together. And then
how do you get them to get
round?
It round? Do you
it's
have
easy because they are very flexible.
Oh, okay.
They're not hard. They're soft.
Okay.
In the fall, you collect them in the fall. Don't collect them in the summer.
All right.
So there was no leaves. All the leaves fell already.
Nice.
And then I found these sea lavender on the beach, where you can't find anywhere else. I think on the island and on the Cape. They're supposed to have beautiful, very light blue flowers.
And they're called sea lavenders. Never heard of that.
All over the island on the beach.
Nice, nice.
So they were already dry when I picked them, like in October. So I use them, for the backing. And then I dry these hydrangea and the baby's breath and the roses. I think the roses were the only one that I had to spend money. I bought them. The rest is all on the island, from the island. Yeah.
So I want to make sure everybody understands that this wreath and all of the pieces that Teresa does, it's all made by items here on the island. So it's not that you can go any place out to Detroit, Michigan, or California and find these items. This is all indigenous products that she finds right here on the island, and she makes these beautiful wreaths. I fell in love with her. I fell in love with her wreath. I bought one when I first met you, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Oh, I love it. And then
I have another one.
Yes.
This one This one is also
Oh, isn't that sweet?
made with grapevine.
Yes.
And
Is that sage?
this is sage.
Ah.
Yeah, kind of like a very grayish and purplish,
Yeah.
color. And I dried all this. Sunflower from my yard. These are sunflowers and roses, spray roses.
Sweet.
And this is called Sweet Annie.
Wow.
That has a fragrance. It smells really good if you want to smell.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So this is the herb one.
Oh, I like
You know,
that.
Yeah, you can put it in the kitchen and,
You know,
very.
if you don't watch out, your house is going to be full of wreaths because everyone is more beautiful than the next one. You're so talented, very, very talented.
Thank you very much.
Do you find that working with flowers helps you stay in tune with Mother Nature and that spiritual part? You want to share with us how it makes you feel? And
I used to always work indoor. All the jobs I had, like in New York, I used to work for Time magazine for a while.
did you
Yes.
really? I worked for Time too.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
that was
small
way back.
Uh-huh.
You did?
Uh-huh.
That was way back 1974.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Were you there?
Well, we'll go.
Okay.
We'll get into that after the show. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it helped me to go through my art school. They pay for tuition.
Very nice.
Yeah, I work part-time.
Yeah.
So then I came to the island and I work always indoor job. You know, I had all kinds of jobs. Like everybody else here on the island, you know, you have to be creative.
Yes.
So I worked many different jobs.
Yes.
But up until I started to working at the garden center, I had to be outdoor all the time, except in the greenhouses sometimes. I just love to look at the clouds. You know, the clouds are so beautiful here. You know, so the blue sky and clouds, and you feel the wind and hear the birds. I said, this is better, you know, better job than being indoor.
Yes.
You know, and then I'm all healthy. I get
Yes.
exercise. You know. So after I left the garden center, I work for a private landscaping company. Then I'm the head gardener now for that company, and then we just go to different houses. I have 21 houses to take care of, and but half of them all have a view of the harbor, Edgartown Harbor, and so it's just it's just great.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I enjoy it very much.
Yeah. Now, when you do the landscaping, for those people in the audience who are like me, I don't have a green thumb. I don't know what to do. When is the best time in the springtime, to start to do things? Do we have to wait or for it to thaw?
You want to wait until the ground is not frozen.
Okay.
So which is around April.
All right. Okay.
Late April.
All right. And is there when's the best time to put fertilizer down?
You do them the same time, you know, before you plant anything. That's the time you fertilize.
Right. And is there any types of plants that you have found that works better here on the island because we have such a high amount of sand in our dirt? What would you say?
Well, I would say the ornamental grasses are the best. The like this is the shoots, the flower from the ornamental grasses.
All right.
Yeah, and they do really well. And of course, the rosa gosas, you know, you see on the beach, those roses, white roses, the white one and the pink ones, they can survive in any condition.
I see a lot of hydrangeas.
Hydrangeas are doing well here too.
Yes, yeah. That's pretty interesting.
Because they like the humid.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, condition.
Okay. You know what I've always wanted to have, but I don't think that we have the climate to do it, is to do a little succulent garden because it gets too cold here in the wintertime.
Right.
But I've seen pictures of succulent gardens, which are
cactus.
Yes, yes. You know,
there are all kinds of cactus.
Yeah.
Around. Yeah.
They can be brilliant. Do you think that we could do like a little succulent garden on this island, or do you think that our winters are too temperamental, too cold?
Well, you can pick out the one that can tolerate, the weather here.
Okay.
There are a few.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, do you design gardens?
Yes, I sometimes do.
Okay. And tell me about a garden that you've done that you're just the most proud of.
Let's see. I had one that was done on Deep Bottom Pond. It was a brand new house, and it's a beautiful house. And I designed, around the front, the side, and the back. And I was just concentrating on the plants that is deer-proof, because they have deer over there. That's another problem on the island is we have deer.
Deer and skunk.
So I try to concentrate on the flowers that the deer will not eat, and yet I try to have the flowers that will, open year-round. Like different season, because you don't want to plant everything bloom all at the same time in the summertime,
Absolutely.
and there's nothing left for you to see in the fall.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I try to, have something in the spring, something in the summer, and something in the fall. For example, in the back, I just plant a whole bunch of ornamental grasses. Ornamental grasses somehow give me a lot of island flavor.
Yes.
Flavor. Yeah. They looks just so beautiful when the wind blows them. You see the flowers and just wave.
I think they're very pretty.
Waving. Yeah.
And a lot of them even have little tips of different color.
Yes.
Which is just really sweet.
Right. They come in different colors too, and they have different heights.
Yes.
Yeah. So that, and then I had some. Mountain daisy, which bloom in the fall. Shasta daisy, which bloom in the summer, in June, July. So I have both of the different type of daisies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I have a lot of lilies, day lilies.
Oh, those are wonderful.
Oh, I love day lilies.
Yes,
and
yes.
Oriental lilies.
Ah.
Oriental lilies come in different colors. These are
Like
Oriental
this?
lilies.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
They
All
come in
right.
pink,
Okay.
yellow,
All
white, red, orange. So I planted a lot of
Sounds
those.
great. Now, this is my favorite, the peony.
The peony, yes.
Love, love, love peonies.
They love
But they're short.
Yeah.
I
know.
First they're here, then they're gone.
Right.
Yeah. But they're just.
Well, they can be so beautiful.
Oh, aren't they gorgeous?
So different, many different colors.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I just love the peony. And I think now
They grow well here too on the island.
do they? Now, how well do we do with tulips here?
Tulips are doing well here.
Okay.
They grow well.
All right. Okay. So do we really should, I guess, every spring really fertilize our garden to make sure that all the nutrients didn't get washed out with all the rain and all the snow and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Because we certainly had enough this year, didn't we?
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah, we have too much snow.
Yes. I think it's going to be an interesting spring, because I think it should be very lush.
I think the flowers and plants will do well.
Yes, I do too.
Yep.
I would, one thing that we didn't talk about are things that grow in pots. Are there certain things? I tried my hand at growing some things in pots this year. That was a joke. It didn't quite work. Is there anything that you feel that we should buy for pots versus other things?
Flowers.
Yes.
The certain type of flowers to grow in the pots. Try to get the annuals rather than perennials.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The annuals, they will die. You can't use it again next year. But they are much easier to grow. And then usually flowers would, if your dad had them, they will keep on coming back.
Okay.
See, if you grow perennials, they just grow once. And then even if your dad had, most of the time, there's no more flowers.
All right.
That's a difference.
And now, flowering bushes like forsythia. Sorry.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? Roses and stuff like that grow on a bush. Now, should they really be covered every winter?
Nope.
No?
Not
Okay.
forsythia.
All right.
And the roses, we mount the roses.
What does that
mount with compost.
Oh.
We mount, the
Okay.
roots.
All right.
The base of the roses.
Okay.
Yeah, with the compost.
All right.
Or manure.
Okay.
That's how you protect all wood chips.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And now, you were telling me something about things to use as borders. Some flowers that you were telling. I forgot what they were.
Well, in Edgartown, everybody loves impatiens.
Impatiens. There you go. Okay.
It's the impatient heaven.
Right.
In
right.
Edgartown.
Okay.
Everybody wants impatient around
right.
their border.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you walk to downtown, you see a lot of impatiens. They're so easy to grow.
Now, do you work with? I guess I don't know if you want to call them indoor gardens or what, but let's say orchids.
Yeah. You mean house plants?
House plants.
Not so much.
No. Okay.
No. House plants are hard to take care of.
I was just going to ask you, what's the trick on a? I have a girlfriend that does orchids, and they're gorgeous, but I can't keep one alive.
No, it's so hard to take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it
tropical?
Because,
They are tropical plants, you have to have the right type of temperature, or the humidity had to be right. Yeah.
They're pretty.
They're pretty, but it's
pretty.
not that easy to grow.
Right.
Indoor
right.
plants.
Yeah. I'm not too good at those.
Yeah.
I do better with these.
Silk is the best.
Oh yeah, these I do quite well with. Well, I really appreciate you coming in and talking to us about flowers because, I know that a lot of people might say, well, why, if we're talking about alternative healing, why are you having flowers? Well, I think that flowers aid in the healing of people. It's close to Mother Nature. They're absolutely exquisite. There's nothing that a man can make that could top the beauty of a freshly cut flower. I don't think.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
That, we try to do a lot of different things and we think that we can do everything and anything. But there's still a lot of things that we just haven't figured out the technique as to how to do it. And one of those things would be to make a fresh flower, And there's nothing, I think that there's nothing more beautiful than a fresh flower. I don't care if it's a daisy to the peony, all of them have their own beauty.
Yes.
And I just love the softness of the petals.
Yes.
And the colors couldn't be more pure. I think that's the best word, the more pure.
Right.
And I don't know anybody that does not like flowers, I mean, some guys might, I don't like flowers, but if you give them a flower, they're not going to throw it away, all right? I think everybody likes flowers, and I especially love to watch a little kid, a toddler, go up or just hold a flower because they're in total awe of what is this thing, and let me look at this very closely, and they get their little noses right into the flower and smell it. It's a sweet picture, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to add that one thing that got me also involved with flowers is probably because of my divorce. There's a saying, flowers are spiritual healers.
Oh, that's right.
So when I deal with flowers, I forget about my problems, troubles, and I just enjoy the texture, the colors, and everything about it.
Yeah.
And also because I just love nature. I'm a Taoist, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Confucius, all that. And because I was educated in Taiwan, so I had all this background.
Sure.
And I just love nature. When I'm working in the garden, I constantly get messages from the nature.
I believe it.
Yep.
I believe it.
I have.
Yeah.
And I had a bird, saying to me one time, giving me the message, says, take down notes, take down the notes, write down the notes. Forever you won't forget. Forever you won't forget. The birds were singing, but it was in Chinese.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. And then another time was, I was meditating. I'm also doing meditation, or I haven't, but I was very involved with meditation. So it was in one of the retreat, 7-day retreat, very intensive. Like in the middle of the retreat, we were sitting at a beautiful yard in upstate New York, and the trees were all around us, and then everybody just, meditate, different places. And then I was, after in the middle of the retreat, you're so good at it. Like you don't need to eat, you don't need to sleep. I mean, you just totally in a different world.
Your spirit is full.
Yeah,
your spirit is full.
Yeah, and you. I just forgot even I had the body. I didn't feel my body either.
Right.
And then suddenly I felt the wind was blowing through my body. It was a kind of windy day in summer.
I understand.
And the air was so fresh, and the wind was, and I was like, tree.
Yeah.
I was a tree.
Right.
It was such a weird experience.
I think it's a great experience, and I would like to invite you to come back. And our show is over, half an hour, but I would love for you to come back and share more about that experience, because I believe that our audience would like to know more about the spiritual connection that you have with nature, that and how it's guided you to do the things that you're doing. Well, this evening, we've all had the pleasure to be with Teresa. And Teresa, we thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I'd love to invite you back and talk more about that experience and your other experience as to how working with the plants has just opened your whole world. So with that, what's your telephone number?
My phone number is 508-627-8428.
Okay.
Yep.
So we invite you, if you have any questions, to please give and would like to book her to do a wedding, or if you're opening up a new business, that's also wonderful too. And please stay in touch with me as well. The website is nataliesnaturalhealing.com. And we thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in the very near future next week. Bye-bye.
Brought to you by Claudia, fine jewelry in Edgartown and Vineyard Haven. Chillmark spring water from Martha's Vineyard, the champagne of waters. Richard Hamilton, handmade gold jewelry in Edgartown. And C'est la vie, a little something for everyone, Circuit Ave, Oak Bluffs.